Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Easter Seals New Hampshire Annual Celebration of Giving. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Easter Seals New Hampshire Annual Celebration of Giving. Thank you for joining us tonight. I invite you to take your seats so we can get the show started. I'd like to welcome Nancy Rollins, Easter Seals New Hampshire's Chief Operating Officer, to the stage.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight we have no small task ahead of us. Together, we will celebrate our past year and convey our blueprint for the future, which involves you, me, all of us working together. This is an exciting time to be part of the Easter Seals family. As part of the family, you help us deliver a loud and clear message to people across New Hampshire, Maine, and Vermont that Easter Seals changes the way the world defines, views, and treats disabilities so that every person can achieve their full potential. This evening, we are excited to honor some outstanding volunteers, clients, and friends. Everyone in this room plays a role in growing independence for our clients of all ages. Whether you are a donor, volunteer, staff member, client, family, or friend, every day you are the people who open your hearts and embrace the work we do. On behalf of the people we serve and their families, who are the most important reason why we are all here tonight, we thank you. Before we go much further, I'd like to recognize our Chief Human Resources Officer, Tina Sharby. She's with our AV team in the back of the room tonight and will be making announcements throughout the evening. Tina, can you stand and wave so everyone can put a face to the voice they will be hearing? Thank you. This past year, we served almost 30,000 children, adults, and seniors through our core programs across 3 states in their community, home, or at 108 locations. You'll find highlights of the year in your annual report, and you'll hear more tonight throughout our event. I am so excited about everything that's going on at Easter Seals. One of the most common phrases I hear from the community is, "I didn't know Easter Seals did that." As most of you in this room know, we are committed to serving people in need and filling in gaps in services wherever we can. But that story is best told by the people who experience our programs and services. I'd now like to show a quick video about our services and our service recipients. And when you come back from that, I'll fill you in on some exciting highlights about the massive renovation of our headquarters and how these changes will impact our ability to better serve people in need. Please feel free to start your salads while you watch the video.
Easter Seals is you, me, all of us. Together, we are a community of dedicated caregivers, helping people of all ages with disabilities and special needs to gain independence and thrive.
Easter Seals has pushed me to become a better person. They've said, hey, we understand you're having a bad time. Let's help you out. And if it wasn't for them, I'd probably be on the streets.
They will allow you to develop the abilities, tools that you need to grow and better yourself. A lot of the service members sometimes have issues asking for help. Everything is confidential. They're willing to go the extra mile for you, not to impose anything, but to really allow you to develop the necessary tools that you need to get there.
Here, I was treated as an individual, and they attended to my individual needs. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach to treatment. Everybody's case is a little different.
Easter Seals has saved my life. They've been there for me when I needed them the most.
For more than 80 years, Easter Seals has changed the way the world defines and views disability by making profound, positive differences in people's lives every day.
I love it. I get a shuttle that comes right to my door. I have no car, so I'm so glad that I get out of the house so I can enjoy people and come to Easter Seals.
Today, what's different is that I have a real fierce determination to succeed. I'm passionate about a lot of different things in my life.
I think that when you have somebody who comes into your life who has a job but also has such an open heart and wants to do more than her job, I think that was so beneficial for our family and helped us grow and help us be where we are, united and together as a family of 3.
Easter Seals is here for you and your entire family. We see the whole you and the many aspects of your life. Disabilities touch all of us, and together we are opening pathways to opportunity and creating a more inclusive world.
They are able to offer services to any level of the spectrum that we are, any level of personal growth and evolution.
Staff here changed my life, first by just believing in me and listening, and then by caring about me. A willingness from the staff's point to do just about whatever it takes to make sure that I was doing okay.
No, you are not alone. There's always somebody there.
Easter Seals. You, me, all of us, together.
I want to thank all of our clients and their family members who helped make that video and shared their stories with us. That is the power of who we are and what we do. Starting last fall, Easter Seals undertook a massive challenge of renovating and refurbishing our 64,000 square foot headquarters on Auburn Street in Manchester. Completed in several stages, we expanded our oral health care center from 2 chairs to 5. It is now a complete clinical oral health program that accepts all clients with insurance or sliding fee. Our Eastside Child Care and Playground facility was refurbished. And additionally, our autism, senior services, and military and veteran service program areas were upgraded, and all 4 areas now have their own safe and secure entryways. Our workforce development staff area was renovated, and our Manchester community-based service staff have relocated from Elm Street to our new space at Auburn. As our administrative hub, renovations were also completed at Auburn Street for our finance, payroll, human resources, development, information technology, and administrative support staff. We have 5 refurbished conference rooms and a training room. And because of many of you here tonight, the entire project was completed on time and under budget. Imagine that. Completely refreshed and renovated, our Auburn Street facility is now a welcoming environment that is safe, secure, and vibrant for our clients, families, and staff. In addition to all of these programs that are housed at Auburn Street, in New Hampshire, we also provide substance abuse treatment services and recovery programs at our Farnham facilities. Camp, transportation, early supports and services, and our residential and educational programs are also at various locations throughout the state. Tonight, we are honored to have a group of students representing one of our residential educational programs, the Robert B. Joliker School Chorus, which has been in existence for almost 17 years, will be singing Better Place by Rachel Platten. Easter Seals has 2 educational facilities and 3 intensive-level residential programs in Manchester. While some students live with their families and attend our schools, most receive treatment throughout our residential programs. Our schools and residential programs have the capacity to serve 130 students at any one time. It takes nearly 400 highly trained staff to provide high-quality services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We are proud of this program and the young people we serve. Tonight, the youth chorus is accompanied by Jeff Davison from Bedford Youth Performing Company and directed by their music teacher, Ed Kissel.
please welcome to the stage Easter Seals New Hampshire President and CEO Larry Gammon.
Thank you, Chorus. That was great. I started here 46 years ago as a teacher and a bus driver and other things. We did not have a chorus then, and we needed one. We went to the Smith Foundation once we moved into Zachary Road. We got a small grant, which I think Charlie Goodwin is here. He helped us get that. You can see it paid off, and Ed, the chorus gets better every year, and it means so much to all of us. So thank you. Thank you very much. How many of you have been to this before? If you would just raise your hand. It's amazing. The rest of you have not been here before, or you weren't listening. It's truly, I always try, there was a rumor we went over last year, and I think I was the reason, so I've been warned not to ad-lib. I have notes, I have slides. But I did want you to know that this is an incredible organization. And not because I've been here 46 years, it's because of all the people that just raised their hand, and also because the ones that didn't, who I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be back and back. And that's the beauty of Easter Seals. We have so many people that help us. We help a lot of people, but we couldn't do it without rooms like this. And I can tell you we've received a lot of awards for that. Some of us have received personal awards. There's nothing that makes me feel better than walking into my office every day on a regular work day and knowing what we do, knowing what's happening in all of those locations that Nancy talked about, what's happening that is really a lifeline for a lot of people, more than you might think in this day and age. For those kids you just met, you wouldn't believe some of the challenges that they've had. And to think that we have over 1,800 people working every day to meet those, and then a great board group of volunteers, past and present, wonderful staff, obviously, and the public like you that gives us so much and helps us in so many ways. So thank you. It really means so much to all of us, and we would not be the organization we are, which humbly I say is the very best Easter Seals in the world, and I think we get recognized that way. Thank you. Thank you. And it's really not my opinion, so it's not bragging. It's just so much that so many people do. So thank you. I want to start with a couple of recognitions. I could recognize all night, but I want to recognize Joyce Craig, who is our mayor-elect. Mayor-elect, if you would stand up for Manchester. Thank you. She ran a great campaign, and we live in we work in a wonderful city. I don't live here anymore, but I don't live very far away, and we're so dependent upon the city of Manchester for the resources it provides us. So thank you, Joyce, and good luck in your term. I'm sure you'll be great. I have two others. I want to recognize Bob Gillette, who hired me 46 years ago. He comes to as many of these as he's in town for. Bob, I know you're somewhere, and there's Bob. Thank you very much. He took a real chance. I didn't have very much going for me at the time, but I had the good fortune of working for him 17 years, so it was good training, so I appreciate that. I'm getting a little old in some people's estimation, not in mine, so I don't have retirement plans, because the other person I recognize at this every time, just because I love her so much, is Hope Macris, and her daughter Cynthia is with her. If you both would stand up, Hope may have to get on a chair. Hope will be 93 in a couple of weeks, and she hasn't missed a beat. She makes all the desserts for the Nazwa, so if you save enough room, get one. And of course, Cynthia runs it. So I'm going to stop there. I could be recognizing all night. So we have some slides, and I think Pam is going to put the first one up. I'm supposed to startle you with some bullets, But they're really great bullets. Nancy talked about how many people we served, almost 30,000. We did that on an $87 million budget, which we're very, very proud of, consolidated. We gave, this is what makes Easter Seals so great, we gave $6.7 million of free and reduced price service. So that's in a day and age where your donor dollars are at work. And we raised over $5.6 million in New Hampshire alone. So that's more than the state of New York and the combined state of California raised together in Easter Seals. So there's no one that comes close. And it's a New Hampshire donor base, and it's donors like you that keep coming back and new people that join us. So we're very proud of that. And the other one we're really proud of is that we do that with an all-in administrative cost of 10% or less. And we've had that for over 35 years. So we're really proud of that. We have great financial management, not only from our staff, but a wonderful board of directors, which I'll talk about, that brings so much to the table because our world is complicated. Our finances are complicated. Our funding sources are demanding and want outcomes. And we spend a lot for accountability. We have to make sure we're using the money properly. So we had a big year. You've heard about the capital campaign. You're going to hear a lot more about it. We called it the Big Ideas Campaign, and I'll explain that to you in a few minutes. I think there's a diagram of our building. This building was secured for us back in the early 80s by Bob, who I've already mentioned, a board of directors, Carl Norwood, who's here tonight, and I think Gene Van Loan III led that. It's an old warehouse in a great part of town. Probably 60% of the indigent people in Manchester could walk there if they need to. There's ample parking. It's going to be home for us forever, I think, for a very long time anyway. But we never had any money to fix it up. And we were challenged by Mark and Sally Stebbins. They came in with a big gift. And we always talk about the big gift, but I'm going to tell you what it is because half the room knows anyway. But they wanted to recognize John Samenfeld, who had been a terrific board member for us for many, many years, and had set the pace for fundraising. And it was back when we only raised funds with canisters and a great telethon, but we never really asked people for money. And John said, well, you could raise a lot more money if you would ask people. And he demonstrated that, and we actually began to raise some pretty substantial dollars. And John did that for over 20 years. So when Sally and Mark came, they wanted to recognize what he's done in the community, but also what he's done as a leader of ProCon, and challenged us to come up with a big idea. I gave them an idea, and they said it's not big enough, and it really wasn't. And it gave us an opportunity, Karen Vanderbeek and I and the staff, to think about it. And we had this beautiful facility that was very run down. We'd never spent any money because our overhead rate is 10%. It stays there. So we didn't really think we could do it. But then with their encouragement, we thought about all of the services that are in that building. This building's on Auburn Street. It's over 60,000 feet. It has babies in it. It has child care. It has seniors. It has a wonderful veterans program. It has a job development program. It has a community-based program for a lot of people that have been prior institutionalized. So it has a little bit of everything. And every program in the building is subsidized. Every program in the building, the people need some help with the tuitions, with the fees that pay. So it's something that is all mission-based that we raise money for. It has its own various constituencies, and it has administration. About 15,000 of the feet, or 5,000 feet go to administration. So we went out and did a feasibility study, and we found out that we could really raise some money. Now, we really needed quite a crew to do that. Our campaign ended up raising $2.6 million, which is really a lot of money for us. We'd never raised more than $1.5 million. It was very successful. We changed the goal from 1.7 to 2.5 halfway through the campaign because not only did the Stebbins gift of $500,000, which is, as I said, at the ribbon cutting, the largest gift we ever received from a living person. and it meant so much to us. But it also encouraged people like Northeast Delta Dental to fund our dental program and help us relocate it and expand it, which provides Medicaid level and free service to people that couldn't get it for a $200,000 gift. People's Bank said, well, we can help you out with your veterans program, gave us $100,000, and Citizens Bank with our workforce development came up with $100,000, and the CDFA helped us with some tax credit. So all of a sudden the goal changed from 1.7 to 2.5. We financed the rest, so if any of you want to help us, we're at $3.5 million. We're financing $1 million of that, but we're not complaining about that. It's very, very successful for us. We had this great steering committee, but we had the intuitive good fortune of asking Ellie Cochran and Charles Goodwin to chair. And Charles has been on the board for a long time, a great fan of his family. Our Lifetime Commitment Award is named after the Goodwin family, and Charlie gives that every year. But he graciously agreed, and Ellie did right away on the phone. And Ellie has not been on our board, but has been close to the organization for many reasons. And the two of them together were unbelievable. And with this steering committee, it met all the time. It was focused and direct, and we just couldn't have been happier with the results. And you're going to hear more from them later as we get to it. So Pam, how far off am I on my slides? What's the next one? Maybe I'm doing the slides and I don't even know it. So I probably went past the ribbon cutting. Where am I? Is that it? So this is give you an idea. There's our beautiful new brand. You notice a lot of the staff and board are wearing orange, though we are orange and blue now. And our center at 555 Auburn Street is now the John A. Salmonfeld Center. It has a real nice alliterative tone. We'll be calling it the Salmonfeld Center before very long. That's one of our 140 buses under the overhang there, and beautiful letters outside. In the lower left corner was a ribbon cutting we had back on November 4th, where we had 300 people in the building in 4 or 5 different rooms. So we were pretty pleased with that night. It got us a chance to put Easter seals in front of a whole lot of people. So thank you very much for that, Charlie and Ellie. Steering committee, we'll be hearing more from you after dinner and later in the program. We're volunteer driven. A lot of you are volunteers. We believe in volunteerism. We could not exist without it. Staff do not know everything that we need to know. We work very hard, but we get great guidance. Our board chairman for the last 2 years, and with one more to go, is Andy McWilliam, who's in the front here with his family, and Andy will be up shortly. But Andy's done a great job. And I told his mother, I met his mother earlier, and I said we were going to double his pay after this year, which we will. We doubled Jim B's pay last year. Andy, through a leadership effort in helping us look at our operation and become more efficient without depriving anybody of service, he and the board helped us save $1 million on the budget this year. And that's $1 million that we have for that free and reduced price service. So it went up even more. So thank you very, very much for that, Andy. And the next group I want to recognize is my senior staff. We have over 1,800 people. All of them report up to one of these folks. Joe Emmons, you're going to meet in a few minutes. Nancy, you've already met. Tina, you've heard her in the back and got a glimpse of her. Ellen Trainer's been our financial officer since I've been CEO, and she's been a blessing not only to me, but to Easter Seals, and we couldn't do without her. And Cheryl Wilkie is our Senior VP of Substance Use Services. And the Farnham Center, you'll see in the annual report, is under us. And Ian McDermott is the chairman of that. And this is just a really fantastic program that we were lucky enough to acquire with a merger, but we were more lucky to get a great board and the leadership of Cheryl Wilkie, which has made this the preeminent treatment program and has served over almost 3,000 people in New Hampshire alone last year. We have 120 licensed treatment beds, which is more than probably half the hospitals have licensed beds in the state. So we're very, very proud of it. The only other person I'll recognize, I never say anything about her, but my wife, Pat, is sitting here with her back to me because she's embarrassed. But she helps me a lot. But I can tell you, I love this organization. I love crowds like this. And next to going in my office every day, being able to be here every year and stand here and think about all of the wonderful people in the audience and how we couldn't survive without you, and those that keep coming, please keep coming, and those here for the first time, please come back again. So thank you all. Have a great night. I appreciate it. I want to introduce Joe Emmons.
Thanks, Larry. Welcome, everybody, and thank you very much for coming tonight. I'm so pleased we're able to be here to celebrate all of Easter Seals' accomplishments over the past year. Our new and returning sponsors help make this event possible, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize and thank them. We're so appreciative of all they do throughout the year. Their support makes a significant impact on our clients, for which we are very grateful. Our silver level sponsors are Hayes Company, New Hampshire Charitable Foundation, Sheehan, Finney, Bass and Green, and USI Insurance Services. Our bronze level sponsors are Eversource, Elliott Health Systems, the Farnham Center, Longchamps Electric, and Sullivan Construction. Also, please see your program book for a list of our generous table sponsors and ad sponsors. So thank you very much to all of you. In addition to our sponsors, I'd also like to take a minute to thank Tim Quartermash from Silver Image Photography for taking pictures tonight, as he's doing right now. Please be sure to visit his website and our Facebook page, both listed in your program book, to view the pictures from this evening. Also, Bedford Youth Performing Company for providing our entertainment during our reception. And then last but not least, the students from our Residential and Education Services program at Robert B. Jolliker School for manning the coat check and serving as greeters as you walked in this afternoon. At this time, I'd like to introduce one of our former child reps and his family to join me on stage. Please welcome Cameron Mello and his family. So as they make their way up to stage, I'll tell you that our child reps and their families have been so important to the history of Easter Seals, and we're honored to have them here with us tonight. Their families have been generous to open up their lives so that we may truly understand the incredible impact that Easter Seals makes. Oftentimes, the bond formed are so strong that clients refer to their care providers as family. I think it's fair to say that the effects they have on those of us who work at Easter Seals are just as strong and indelible. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you. You want to say something?
You want to say thank you, everyone?
You want to say thank you?
Thank you.
Thank you guys very, very much. So the Perrys are one of those families that surely have touched our lives. A year ago at this event, we introduced you to Early Support and Services client and Child Development Center student Elliott Perry and his parents, Carrie and BJ. He's excited. Since that time, they have been to nearly every Easter Seals event, and there are a lot of them. The Perrys have been busy and certainly earned their stripes, as they have traveled the state to share their story, as have many of our family reps before them. Please join me in welcoming Elliott, Carrie, and BJ, who will catch us up on their past year.
Thank you. We made it. We are here, and we've had so much fun this past year. We've laughed, we've tried new things, we've met new people, and we've done all of these things together. We went snowmobiling up a 50-foot and 100-foot bucket truck. We walked 2 miles with family and friends, hung out on the shores of Lake Winnipesaukee, tasted fun chocolate candies, visited with golfers, thanked hundreds of people for donating to Easter Seals. The New Hampshire Snowmobile Association ride-in was our first adventure, and together we packed the car and headed north, very far north. We had no expectations, we just hoped to have fun. We were greeted with so many smiling faces, it's hard to remember everybody's name. We met people from all walks of life, people from all over the state, people coming together for one reason, Easter Seals. Elliot and I tried new things that weekend, snowmobiling. Elliot was quick to jump on with Major John and felt right at home. I think BJ was less than thrilled to have me and my mom squeeze riding behind him. Our ride was 90 minutes and it was cold, but Elliot never complained. We took in the entire experience and we're excited about this year's ride-in. We can't thank the New Hampshire Snowmobilers Association and their members enough. You open your wallets, your hearts, and your families to our family, and the money you raise together for Easter Seals is remarkable. And we can't forget about the New Hampshire Fishing Game and, of course, Major John. The friendship between Major John and Elliot is heartwarming. Elliot took to Major John right from the start, and the two have become wonderful friends. In the spring, our Eversource adventures started. From our first tour of the Commercial Street location to the bucket truck visiting our home, driven by Lance and John, to the 5K, every employee we met made us feel like family. Elliot and I shared our story with as many employees as possible, and together we encouraged everyone to get involved and join Team Elliot. The day of the walk, we joined Team Eversource for a pre-walk barbecue. Elliot shared words of encouragement, thanked employees, and wished them good luck. I found myself standing in the crowd, watching the employees watch Elliot, and my heart was bursting. It was bursting with pride for the love of this little man who's 3 feet tall, 28 pounds, and 5 years old boy who never gives up, tries everything, and who keeps going even if the road ahead seems rough. And I cried a little. Tears of happiness. Tears of happiness, and then watched him head off down Elm Street in the front of a bucket truck, waving like he was the President of the United States. Elliot's friendships with Bill and Joe, and we can't forget Lance and John, along with everyone at Eversource, has been gratifying to see. This year has also come with struggles. In July, Elliot spent a week at Chad in Lebanon. We've been trying everything we can think of to get Elliot to gain weight. We let him eat McDonald's and chocolate cake for dinner whenever he asks. It's been a constant struggle for most of his life, but the past year we've had a harder time, and it's been more work for Elliot. But through it all, he keeps going. He lets the doctors try everything, and he's become an active participant of the team. Being in the hospital isn't fun, but Elliot always finds ways for us to laugh and smile, and his resilience is remarkable. Elliot started first grade in September, and he came home from school excited about his new classroom, his teachers, his students, and going to daily specials. He balances his day between his classroom, his therapies, and trips to the nurse's office for his Tubi, and never complains. School can be hard both mentally and physically for Elliot, and we're lucky if he stays up until 7:15. But watching him grow and learn gives us hope, and we know that without the early intervention services from Easter Seals, he might not be succeeding. So our message tonight is simple. Thank you. Thank you for believing in the mission of Easter Seals, and for being here tonight to support all the kids like Elliot, and for being a part of Team Elliot. You want to say something? Okay. And now for the man of the hour.
Good Good morning, everyone. Good evening. And I would like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And before I get too far, I would like to talk about the ride and the fun stuff I did. Major John and I met Major John right at the start of the ride, and we became we had a lot in common, and we liked each other for a little bit. Then we became very good friends, and we became friends and just kabloo, and we're very good friends at the end. And the walk was very fun, and we can't forget our Eversource people, Lance, John, and who else?
We're over there.
What? Bill and Joe. If you see them right over at those free tables. And it's been so nice to have all of you people watch and come out, and it's really good. Raise your hand if you want to be an Easter Seals fan. I mean by all of you if you want to be an Easter Seals fan. And thank you for everything. And one more thing. Go Easter Seals!
This way.
Thank you, Elliot. For now, we're going to take a short break for dinner to give you a chance to catch up with your friends, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had time to enjoy your meal. At this time, we'd like to get on with the program. We have a very busy night planned and many fabulous people to recognize. So if you could take your seats, we'll get started. I'd like to welcome to the stage Easter Seals New Hampshire Chairman of the Board, Andy McWilliam.
Thank you, everyone. Just a moment here while I do a little bit of housekeeping. So, unbeknownst to Larry, in return for... Oh, he's still mingling over there. He's not even paying attention. So, unbeknownst to Larry, in return for taking on a third year, I am going to ask for a raise, and I'm going to take the Roger Goodell approach with the NFL owners, starting with the corporate jet. So we'll have to finagle the budget a bit in order to fit that in. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the entire Easter Seals New Hampshire Board of Directors, I want to thank you very much for being here. This is truly a special evening, an opportunity for all of us to celebrate a remarkable year that's passed and reimagine the possible as it relates to the unique position we're in going forward to lead as the premier provider of dedicated services to those with special needs and disabilities. As Larry and Nancy summarized earlier in the evening, we accomplished so much during 2017, taking major steps toward expanding our ability to serve more clients across all 12 of our programs in a newly renovated facility. In addition, we're undertaking a deep internal look into how we will operate in the years ahead, with the goal of ensuring the sustainability of all our programs for decades to come. Our record of client service and operational excellence over the past year is truly extraordinary, not just by local or regional standards, but also when measured against the most revered and respected nonprofit organizations across the country. However, While we're here tonight to celebrate all our successes over the past 12 months, I can assure you that we will not rest on our laurels, as the needs of our diverse client base are only becoming more acute with the resources available to serve them under pressure like never before. Therefore, as I look forward, there are many exciting opportunities that lay ahead, and I feel a great sense of excitement and enthusiasm for all that Easter Seals New Hampshire is poised to accomplish. For example, we will continue to set the gold standard for services to children in the areas of early supports and services, childhood development, autism, and residential education. Our substance abuse programs, executed through the Farnham Network, along with our military and veteran services, will expand even further and remain brand-defining. Finally, our senior services will remain truly distinctive and are expected to serve even more clients in our newly renovated space. Operationally, under the leadership of Larry and our exceptional staff, we will maintain our laser focus on executing programmatically in the highest quality fashion while staying diligent in the management of our administrative cost base. Additionally, our development team will continue to set the standard for nonprofit fundraising in New Hampshire to help provide the necessary support to serve our 30,000 clients. This excitement surrounding our future, however, is accompanied by the significant challenges associated with the unprecedented need for all of our services. I know all the members of the board, as well as our staff, feel a great sense of responsibility to rise to the multiple challenges facing a region where the resources available to the underserved portion of our population are not nearly sufficient enough to deal with their many needs. This is why we must all continue our full-fledged support of Easter Seals to address as many of these gaps as possible. I could not feel better about the work that we do day in and day out to serve the needs of our clients and make the communities we operate in a better place to live. Before concluding, I'd like to extend my most heartfelt thanks to my fellow board members and Larry and our staff for all that you do in meeting the needs of our clients. I can personally attest from my many years on the board and over 33 years, can't believe 33 years, at PricewaterhouseCoopers, I know I don't look that old, that there is no harder working or dedicated group of people than those that make our Easter Seals organization truly great. I could not be prouder of our team. It's truly my privilege to have the opportunity in my role to work with and learn from them. And now I'd like to deviate from my remarks a little bit. I'd like to ask that our President's award-winning staff to stand. These are members of our staff that are nominated by their peers to achieve this very prestigious recognition, and their names are up here on the slide to my right. Thank you very much. Finally, I'd like to close by thanking my family for being here this evening, my brother Ray, my sister Janet and her family, and especially my mother Marion, whose 91st birthday we just celebrated. Most importantly, I'd like to thank my wife Marie for her unwavering support of my time spent serving as your board chair. Thank you, sweetie. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you for attending this evening. Whether you're a client, a staff member, volunteer, or donor, your presence here and ongoing commitment to Easter Seals is greatly appreciated. I feel truly blessed to be part of such an outstanding group. Thank you, good night, and God bless.
Please welcome to the stage Board Member Dennis Bolio, who will present the Nicole Bolio Achievement Award. He is joined by this year's award recipient, Youth Transitional Services client Nikki Despelto.
Holy smokes. Good evening. Most of you know Linda and I lost our daughter, Nicole, in a car accident back in 1990. Recently, a similar tragedy struck another member of the Easter Seals family. An employee in our main office lost her daughter to an aggressive, inoperable brain tumor. Madeline was only 4 years old. So tonight, I ask that you keep Madeline in your thoughts and say a prayer for her parents, Amy and Andrew, and her brother Ben. All three need all the love and support we can possibly give them. Some say the pain of losing a loved one gets easier with time. But those of us in this room who have lost a child or a soulmate before their time will tell you such a loss leaves a hole in your heart that never closes. One thing Lynn and I have learned over the years is we all want to keep the memories of our loved ones alive. We place monuments at the cemetery in their honor. We build roadside shrines dedicated to accident victims. We do charitable deeds in their names, all in the hope that somehow, somewhere, our loved ones will come back to us. But they never will. And over time, those who have been taken from us are eventually forgotten, except by those who knew and loved them most. Someone once said, a person does not die whilst their names are still spoken. They only truly died when their names fade from the memories of those they left behind. And that pretty much sums up how Linda and I feel about this award. As long as we speak her name, and as long as Easter Seals honors her by presenting this award, Nicole still lives. And that's why this award means so much to us. The Easter Seals family, and from this day going forward, Madeline's memory will remain alive. Every year when I tell our story at this celebration, every time someone walks the halls of Auburn Street and pauses to look at the plaques placed there in their honor, and for the next year, when someone sees Nikki and says, there goes this year's Nicole Award recipient, thoughts will turn to her and Madeline, and they will live on. Lynn and I always try to select a client who's made the most progress towards self-sufficiency. When Nikki joined Easter Seals 2 years ago, she was very shy, very reserved. In a short period of time, she's transferred herself into a confident, independent young lady whose smile brightens the lives of those around her. Linda and I are pleased with this nomination, and acting in Nicole and Madeline's name, I'm happy to present Nikki as this year's award winner. We'd like to invite you to watch a small video to learn a little bit more about this remarkable young woman. I'm sure you'll agree her strength and courage is something we can all strive to emulate.
So in a nutshell, the Youth Transitional Services, we are contracted in by local school districts to take students out into the community and do a variety of things based on what the school is looking for. So that could be working on adult daily living skills, vocational exploration, paid employment, social health and wellness, credit recovery. It looks different for every student. It's a very individualized program. Nikki came to Easter Seals 2 years ago now, and we had her for half days in program. So she would be with us for 3 hours in the morning, and then we would drop her off to school for 3 hours in the afternoon, basically with the goal of getting her integrated into the community. Her tasks at the beginning were pretty simple. You know, we would set goals for her, like greet your supervisor when you come in the morning, you know, say hi to your coworkers. And we just kind of slowly raised the bar ever so slightly for her every week. Erica is Nikki's one-to-one youth support specialist. So what that means is that she goes out with her into the community and they are together as a team, kind of facing all of the things that Nikki is doing. But she's really taken a step back. Nikki's really come a long way in knowing things for herself, and she loves that independence. She really flourishes in that independence. Nikki is a busy lady. She is on Mondays. She works at Easter Seals. She works here at the Stratham office. She's an office clerk, so she helps with various tasks and projects that may be assigned to her. Then she attends Echo Thrift Shop in Durham. She sorts clothing and any other tasks they may have for her there. On Tuesdays, she attends the local elementary school, Lincoln Street School, where she volunteers in a 3rd grade classroom. And then on Wednesdays and Fridays, she attends her paid employment position, McKinnon's Market in Portsmouth, where she's a front-end attendant. So there she cleans the cafe, she has to stock the napkins, stock the bags. And then on Thursdays, she goes to TJ Maxx in Portsmouth, also a paid opportunity, where she batches clothing in the back room. Nikki has come a really long way from being a young woman who would never make eye contact with me to being someone who, you know, bursts into my office when she's here for her Easter Seals shift and gets right to work without hesitation. It's hard for me to compare the two Nikkis that I know. She has worked so hard to get where she is today. Nikki faces every challenge head on. She never seems daunted or overwhelmed by anything you give her. And she likes to do things herself, and she really feels good about that, which is rewarding to see.
Here, look at. Congratulations, dear little one.
Please welcome to the stage Community-Based Services Project Director Renee Fisher and Easter Seals New Hampshire Adult Representative Christopher Dunkel.
Wow, you are all beautiful. Good evening. As you know, my name is Renee Fisher, and I am the project director for our community-based services. Our teams support our adult population, people who may have developmental disabilities or traumatic brain injury. I've been with Easter Seals for over 11 years, and I cannot imagine being anywhere else. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your overwhelming and continued support, because without your efforts, none of us could do what we do every day. So thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our current Easter Seals New Hampshire Adult Representative, Chris Dunkel. From his early years of living with us on Zachary Road to his many successful endeavors to graduate to more independent living situations and to secure employment and volunteer positions, Chris has truly taken control of his future and the path that he is on. He is driven by his goal of independence and supported by his family and his Easter Seals staff. It has proven to be the perfect combination for Chris as he has transitioned from a teenager to an adult. For the past 2 years, Chris has taken on the added role of serving as our Easter Seals New Hampshire Adult Representative. Chris, come on over. Thank you so much for sharing your life with us as you have traveled the state as our adult representative. It hardly seems possible that 2 years have gone by. We are so grateful for all that you have done and for the inspiration you have brought to so many families. Here's a small token of our appreciation and what you have meant to us. Want to say a few words?
Good evening. I am pleased to be able to be here tonight. As the adult ambassador for Easter Seals, the last year has been very exciting. I have met lots of people and been able to explain all the different services Easter Seals provides to people with disabilities. Some of the highlights of the last year have been my chance to speak to people about how they have helped me with both outside and inside with my family. Speak to people about sponsoring Easter Seals in other areas. I also like how I've grown from being able to go from Zachary Road to living on my own. Well, not on my own, but in an apartment, and also having my car, driver's license, a job, and everything like that. And I thank Easter Seals. And I thank Easter Seals for all the help they do, and I just ask that you guys thank them too.
Now I have the very exciting job of introducing to you our new adult representative, Toni Goucher, and her family. Stand with me? Okay. This amazing young lady has been part of the Easter Seals family since she was 2 years old in our early supports and services. 20 years later, Toni is part of our Easter Seals community-based services program and is looking forward to a career working with children. To accomplish that goal, with the support of her program coordinator, Rebecca Brasley, and her direct support professional, Tori Estupinan, Toni is busy getting ready for work and volunteering in this field. Toni currently works at a daycare center and has been at this position for 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 years.
Mm-hmm. She's an integral part of the services provided to the children at the center, and she has many different duties there, from preparing all of the children's snacks to interacting with the children and assisting the teachers. When Toni is not working with children, she's volunteering in our Easter Seals Daycare Center, and she has a variety of duties in that position as well. Toni is very kind and caring and is a joy to be around. She loves to shop for clothes and jewelry, especially rings.
Yep.
And she loves to sing, and she loves turtles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she has her turtle necklace. Toni's infectious smile and laugh and amazing personality makes her a favorite with children and adults. We are so excited that for the next 2 years, Toni and her parents, Cindy and Tom, her sister Lila, and her sister Kyra and Sky, who are not able to be with us tonight, will be representing Easter Seals and sharing their story with us. Here's a video to get to know them better.
When Toni was 2 or 3, she still wasn't walking at that point. She did not start walking until she turned 4.
The services came to our house, and that made Toni feel really comfortable because it was in our home environment and not a strange environment, so she could focus more on, her services, speech, OT, and PT.
With Easter Seals providing the services and more importantly in the house, it made it convenient for us and for Toni, but it also allowed her skills to build up. when Tony was approaching 21, and we had to start planning for her adulthood. We talked to different agencies, and Easter Seals was one of the agencies that was brought up. It just seemed like it was the right choice for Tony. It gave her the right amount of independence, but it also gave us the right amount of comfort as parents, knowing that, you know, she's going to be in good hands, you know, during the day when she's out and about.
With Easter Seals, she gets up, she's jumping around, she knows what days she's working, what days she's volunteering. She just seems like she gets so much out of it, and she's learning.
A lot of the programs that are offered, typically, if you will, at a school, were things where they wanted to have the children go to places and work at a restaurant or work at a store and, you know, stock things or bag things and stuff. And it's not that those aren't good skills to have, but for Tony, that wasn't going to work for her. She wouldn't enjoy it. On 2 days a week, Mondays and Wednesdays, she works at a daycare. It's a paying job for like 3 or 4 hours, I think it is, each day. The other day she volunteers at daycares through Easter Seals.
Every day it seems like she does more and makes us laugh more and communicates better. It's just such a good feeling as a parent to be able to let go and be able to say, okay, you know, she's an adult now and she's gonna be successful and continue to thrive and grow.
Tony is hilarious. We constantly sing in the car. She's a bright, happy person all the time. Wherever we go, she's very friendly. Tony likes to talk to her other peers. She's confident and happy, and she's really awesome.
Do you like Tori?
Yeah,
Why?
because she's smart, she's strong, like Superwoman.
Like Superwoman? Yeah.
It's so sweet that she's able to form those bonds that she wouldn't be able to form if she was just home with me all day.
Yes.
You know, she has a fulfilling regular life. I don't even know what the future holds for her. I know it's going to be a lot. She's already exceeded everything that people have told us she could do or would be able to do. We're just going to keep going.
Hi, my name is Tom Goucher, Tony's dad, as you probably saw in the video. I'm a little bit under the gun here because I was told I have 4 minutes, but then before I came up here, my father, who's getting hard of hearing in the older years, said talk slowly. So I'll still try to keep it within the 4 minutes, though. Being a parent, or making the decision to be a parent, to have a child, is a tough one, right? For any of us, I'm sure many out there look like you probably have had kids, maybe you have grandkids. That decision you don't take lightly usually. You know, there's a lot of responsibility, financial, nurturing, and things like that. One thing you don't think about is, you know, if the child ends up with a disability, what that might mean. That responsibility you have doesn't lessen, if you will, when they become an adult, when they become independent, when they do those things that, you know, you might expect the child that you think you're going to have is going to have. And so there's a lot of things you need to go through as part of that. And it's it kind of changes that responsibility and that thought process. You have to start planning for the future, not just for yourself and maybe when you retire, but also what about, you know, your daughter or your son or whoever that person is. It puts a lot of pressure on yourself, on your spouse, your relationship with them, their siblings, her sister Lila and Kyra and Sky, who can't be here. There's a lot to it, and there's a lot to think about. It's challenging, but at the same time, it's a responsibility that you accepted when you were born. So in that process, as we went through this over time, as she's grown up and become the wonderful lady that she is, what we learned were two very important things. The first one is that Tony is awesome, all right? You saw her smiling earlier, you saw her kind of talking and stuff. She's very loving, she's very caring, she does have an infectious smile. But what a person or a child or a sibling or a family member with disabilities gives you is that understanding that it's the little things, it's the breaking of that glass ceiling, if you will, every time when she does something that you didn't think she was going to do. You know, when she was little, just shortly before that video came out, we were fitting her for a wheelchair because they said she'd never walk. And she runs, you know, she walks, she does all kinds of things. She has come so far gone beyond so many goals or limits, if you will, that people have set for her. And, it's just an enjoyable thing. So that's the first thing. And the second thing I'll talk about in a minute, but I want to give her sister a chance to talk about what she gets and what she's learned from having a sister like Tony in her life and how it's so special for her.
So having a sister with a disability is interesting. I love her like any human being, just I make sure to help her out more than Sky or Kyra, which are my sisters. For example, I help her with chores and the dishes, so then she doesn't have to break a plate or something. Then I also help her out with setting the TV on Netflix and that stuff because she can't find it out that simple way, so I need to help her out with that. I think Easter Seals would makes Tony feel more to the real world than if she wasn't. She would be in her room watching Netflix every day, not being able to do her chores. Finally, even though Tony plays as characters on her TV shows like Dean Winchester or Castiel, I want her to be the real Tony because I love the real Tony and she's my real sister.
Just a quick note in passing, I'd like to talk about how hard it is to let go. Like when she went to her formal dance with a bunch of her friends in a Jeep, and they took off into the sunset with the Jeep bouncing around. But she had a great time, and it was great. Or when she went to a birthday party at the movies with a boy, and we let her go, we let it happen. But the best thing I can say about letting go is when she went to Easter Seals, and when she's with Tori, as you saw at the last part of that clip, it makes me feel so comfortable and so happy when she goes to work with Tori every day and she's happy to go, because you know that she's not going to fake it. If she's not having fun, she's not having fun, but she is. So thank you.
Okay, so I mentioned the first thing earlier about Tony being awesome. The second thing that people, parents, family, siblings, everyone needs to realize is that you can't and shouldn't do alone. One thing we learned at a young age, younger than we are now, was that there are programs out there, there are services, and we found Easter Seals when Tony was little. In that video was around the age when we first worked with Easter Seals, and they helped her with her physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and it was services that at that stage in our life we couldn't really afford on our own if we didn't have the assistance and the guidance and the services that an organization like Easter Seals can provide. So you need to do that, So now Tony's in this program. So what happens next? Because things are always changing. So we're setting goals higher. She likes to work with kids. She works in daycares. We need to get her into CPR classes and other classes, and we're working with Easter Seals and other organizations to try to make that happen. After she gets done with that, then it's a question of what happens when my wife and I maybe aren't able to care for her anymore. What's going to happen next? Of course, we'll talk to her siblings, her sisters. We'll try to find plans for her and obviously secure her financial future. But in that process, I can guarantee you, it's kind of like Nancy Rollins in the beginning was talking about, does Easter Seals do that? Or I didn't know they did that. Well, it's the same sort of thing. They do a lot of things. And I certainly don't know everything they do. But we will be reaching out to Easter Seals as we go forward. We will be working with them. We've known them for many years. They're a great organization, and Tony loves it. She gets up for work in the morning, and she's happy. She comes home smiling, so that's all that matters. Thank you. Do you want to say anything? Yes or no? Do you want to say anything? Yes or no?
Sure.
So say something. Go ahead.
Whew. Oh. Hello. Y'all might know me. I'm Tony, Tom and Cindy's daughter. Thank you.
You ready? We're going to go down this way, okay?
Please welcome to the stage Easter Seals, New Hampshire Senior Advancement Officer Karen Vanderbeeken. She is joined by Jean Van Loan and Larry Gammon. Together, they will present the Eugene Van Loan III Leadership Award.
Good evening, and congratulations to the Goucher family. You're going to be wonderful representatives. Will the former winners of the Van Loan Award please join us on the stage? This award is named in honor of Eugene Van Loan III, who chaired our board from 1978 to 1981. Gene is our first three-year chairman and is symbolic of all of the wonderful men and women who have led our organization over the years. Because of all that Gene has done and all he symbolizes, this award was established in his honor. It is now given every other year to a volunteer who represents leadership and longstanding commitment to Easter Seals and the people we serve. So standing behind me are the former winners, and I'm going to ask Ellie and Charlie to join me. And while they're walking up, I just want to mention, if you don't know who they are, just quickly go through Jim B., John Salmonfeld, Carl Norwood, Ray Trunsolito, Frank Yanko, Jean Van Loan, of course, Larry, Brad Cook, welcome Brad, Mike Reed, and Dick Rawlings. Please give them a round of applause. Given all of their accomplishments during this past year and their many successes before this year, we are very pleased to present this year's Eugene Van Loan Leadership Award to Ellie Cochran and Charlie Goodwin. While they stand on their own in terms of their leadership and commitment to our community and to Easter Seals, they are truly following in the footsteps of their parents. Dave and Dot Goodwin were both active supporters of Easter Seals. They were also active in our community. Dave chaired our board of directors in the late 1960s, and as a former board member, he continued to come to meetings and play an active role in decision-making until his passing. Dot was also very active in our community and active with Easter Seals. Charlie has served in various capacities at Easter Seals with our board of directors. He is vice chairman right now and has been assistant secretary as well. He's been involved since 2005. He's also chaired our very important Partners annual campaign. He is a trustee or a board member of several trusts and charitable foundations and gives trusted guidance on many issues that we face. Ellie has worked in philanthropy for more than 45 years, starting at the Dairyfield School and retiring from the New Hampshire Charitable Foundation as the Director of Philanthropy. She has served, and now that she has even more time to do community service, she continues to serve on nonprofit boards and foundations. Charlie and Ellie have taken the ultimate step in supporting Easter Seals in perpetuity by establishing an endowment fund in honor of their parents. This fund is dedicated to supporting the professional development of our staff, and I can't think of a better way to leave a legacy and make a difference in the lives of our employees and our clients who benefit from a better educated and informed staff member. By virtue of this gift that will have an impact forever, they and their spouses are members of our legacy society. When I was thinking of who I might want to ask to lead our steering committee for the capital campaign, it took really less than 10 seconds for me to come up with this dynamic duo. It was the best decision that we made. Their experience and dedication to Easter Seals enabled them to exert strong leadership to the committee and to the campaign. They were always ready to pick up the phone, meet with a potential donor, or help a committee member with a prospect. And they made it fun. They have a little bit of a sense of humor. We're so grateful for everything you did to ensure the success of the campaign, and also for your friendship to us and to Easter Seals. So we're very proud to give you this award. And I know Jean has a couple comments, so hold your applause.
No, I don't. Thank you, Karen. I always feel at a disadvantage coming up here after listening to all these wonderful people and their stories and everything they have done for Easter Seal and everything that Easter Seal has done for them. But tonight is, every one of these occasions is a special occasion, but if it's not grammatically incorrect, this is especially special tonight to have the Goodwins here, because everybody on the stage here who has been a recipient of this award has known their parents and how much their parents have done for Easter Seals and the shoes that need to be filled. Now, I looked at Charlie's feet tonight, and I think I won't talk about Ellie's feet because that's inappropriate. But at any rate, Dave and Dottie Goodwin's shoes were very large shoes to fill because of so much they have done for Easter Seals. But they have certainly been filled by their two children who have done just a wonderful job this year in leading the capital campaign. And it's been a huge success and in no small measure attributable to them. So, for the first time, we've had an opportunity to give this award to a brother and sister, and I'm sure they'll have a few interesting remarks to make. So, Charlie and Ellie, congratulations. Already.
Well, I'm going to grab this before he does. But it was an awful lot of fun to work with the entire group at Easter Seals, and especially being with Charlie, because we do get along pretty well, considering that he's my baby brother. But I just want to thank all of you for being here. It was wonderful to see former colleagues and good friends, and we really appreciate all that you do to make Easter Seals such a wonderful, wonderful place. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank both my husband Dave and Jay for putting up with Charlie and I and our little bickering. So have that.
Thank you. Usually we're up here presenting the award in memory of our father, or in honor of our father, and I never let Ellie speak, so tonight I let her speak first. But it is very much an honor to be a part of this group of recipients of the Eugene Van Loan Leadership Award, and to be in a group of people who we so admire, all of you. So we are especially appreciative of being given this award. It's an honor to be a part of the Easter Seals family. The staff and the volunteers are second to none. They are the most wonderful group of people that you will encounter anywhere. And it is truly an honor to be a part of that family as well. And finally, my biggest honor is to recognize my own family, my wife, Jay, my son, Rob, my daughter, Lauren, who flew in from New York this afternoon to surprise me. My daughter, Carolyn Leary, and my son-in-law, Mike Leary, are all here tonight. They support me. Jay really supports me because she works and I don't. So but they allow me to do the things that I do in the community, and it is very special to me tonight that we're all here together, because aside from holidays, we don't get together that often anymore. So thank you for all you do, all of you, all you do, and for all of you here for all you do. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah.
I really don't have a role except if Karen forgot something, and she forgot one thing. She is also a recipient of this award, past recipient. So, Karen Vanderbeeken.
Please join me in welcoming Easter Seals New Hampshire's Chief Financial Officer, Ellen Trainer, who will close out this evening's show.
Good evening. While they're getting set up, I'm going to keep things moving. Wow, this has just been a great night. This evening exemplifies how fortunate and how grateful we are to have all of you, our many friends and supporters, helping Easter Seals, helping the people we serve. We thank you all for your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Our organization succeeds because of all of you. Every day, we are helping individuals fulfill their potential, and we are proud to have been doing that for more than 80 years. We're counting on you to help us continue to do so. You, me, all of us together. And now to close our evening, we have a very special treat, our Senior Services Adult Day Choir. Easter Seals provides the best possible care for older adults living in the community. We've been doing so for over 30 years, and we served 1,285 seniors last year. Our staff are professional and compassionate and dedicated to maintaining and enhancing quality of life and continuum of care for aging individuals in our community. And we are all aging. New Hampshire has the second oldest population in the nation. We offer long-term support services, allowing seniors to age in place in safe, meaningful, social, and healthy ways. For families, we are a vital source of support and caring. Many families say we are a lifeline, allowing them to work and to have a much-needed break, time to take care of themselves. I hope we all take the opportunity to spend time with the seniors in our lives. Our seniors have so many stories, experiences, and an abundance of wisdom and joy to inspire us. Let's let them know how much they are loved and appreciated. So please welcome our choir. We have Colleen, Mary, Dave, and Lucille. They are accompanied by Yolandi, who will also be singing, and Donnie on the keyboard. Tonight they'll be singing Lean on Me and I Feel Good, and we invite you to sing along.
Sunshine. understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. I feel good. I knew that I would now. I knew that I would. I feel good. I feel good. I knew that I would now. I knew that I would now. So good. So good. I got you. I feel nice. Like sugar and spice now. Like sugar and spice now. I feel nice. I feel nice. Sugar and spice now. Sugar and spice now. So nice. So nice. I got you. So nice. So nice. I got you. So nice. So nice. I got you. Please sing with us. All you gotta do is call me. Call me. Call me. Call me. Call me.
Wasn't that inspiring? Thank you to everyone for joining us in working together for people with disabilities and special needs, and for the part you played and will play in changing the world after you leave here. As for tonight, drive safely, and we'll see you next year.